Mark out Mania. Mark out Mania. Reviews and yelling. Mark out Mania.
Hola, amigos, and welcome to Mark Out Mania! My name is Pedro Boyd, but you can call me Dro, and this is my podcast where I review and make comments about all the things I'm into, from sports, pro wrestling, music, movies, reality TV, and whatever else. It's called Mark Out Mania because when I'm really into something, I like to mark out and get carried away with my emotions about it. So download, stream, plug in, and enjoy Mark Out Mania! In this first episode, we're going to take a look at Undertaker versus CM Punk from WrestleMania 29, the Manchester Derby in the Premier League, and Justin Timberlake's single, Suit and Tie. So let's get to it. Pro Wrestling. I didn't watch WrestleMania 29, couldn't afford it, and I was busy anyway, so I wouldn't have been able to watch it in any event. But I read the results online, read the various discussions by fans online, even had a late-night phone conversation about the show with my brother, because he watched it. And later, I stumbled upon an upload of the Undertaker versus CM Punk match on YouTube, and knowing it would probably not be up very long, I decided to watch it, and holy moly, ravioli, what a match! The setup for CM Punk versus Undertaker was CM Punk won a four-way match with the winner to challenge The Undertaker for a streak at WrestleMania. Then Paul Bearer, sadly, he passed away, and then the feud sort of took a new direction with CM Punk and Paul Heyman stealing the urn, sort of spitting on the memory of Paul Bearer, and then playing mind games on The Undertaker. The taste level has been debated about the whole setup, but if nothing else, it did provide a very heated and emotional setup for the WrestleMania match. So, go into the WrestleMania match, you get this great entrance by The Undertaker, with these hands reaching up out of the smoke for him. It's this really cool visual. And then, you get this match, and, the match is just tons of fun. There's, great spots, and unbelievable near falls that, had me just, literally jumping up out of my seat, losing my mind, holy moly, ravioli, yowza, all that stuff, CM Punk, some of the spots in this match are CM Punk. He counters Undertaker's old school. Undertaker goes for his old school, and CM Punk counters it. And then CM Punk reverses it, and he uses the old school on the Undertaker. And I don't think I've ever seen that before. I was like, oh my God. And then I love that later CM Punk goes for it again, and this time the Undertaker counters it, crotching CM Punk on the ropes. And I was like, oh, that was a great sort of full circle bit with that thread in the match. Paul Heyman was great in the match. He had great facial expressions. I liked his, quote-unquote commentary during the match, things he would be yelling. I dug when The Undertaker was going to go for a suicide dive, and Paul Heyman's just desperate. He's pleading for Punk to get up. He's like, I know what's going to happen. You need to get up. You got to get up. And, CM Punk's not getting up in time, so Paul Heyman jumps on the ring apron to block The Undertaker's dive attempt, and, The Undertaker goozles him, and that opens up the spot for Punk to hit a flying clothesline on The Undertaker. I thought that all that was, really fun bit, and loved all the Macho Man spots by CM Punk, the double axe handle off the top, the big elbow. It's too bad the big elbow on the Spanish announce table, that the table didn't break, but I still thought it was a really cool spot. The first tombstone that The Undertaker hit, I thought the match was over. I'm like, oh, damn, it's over, yowza. And it's like, no, Punk kicks out. I'm like, I can't believe this. This is a holy moly. And it's like, whoa, he kicked out. And for a moment, I was like, oh, and this is, even knowing the results already, for a moment, I'm like, oh, Punk might win this. Oh, my God. The finish where, they're sort of countering versus countering. They're countering each other's counters, and it finally leads to that final tombstone. I was just going nuts out of my mind. I'm like, oh, my God. And it was just, it was an excellent bit and just a great finish to the match. And I was like, whoa. And then Undertaker gets the urn back, and he pays tribute to Paul Bearer, this awesome post-match and all that. And it was just a really great slice of pro wrestling. When pro wrestling's good and the soap opera and stuff pays off in a match like this, it's just so much fun, and it just delivers. And you're like, you're so excited. It gets you so pumped up. It's so much fun. This is a really good match. I don't know how the rest of WrestleMania 29 was, but Undertaker, CM Punk, excellent. You know, top marks in my book. You know, really great stuff. Deportes Sports. All right, so let's get into the Manchester Derby. Manchester United hosting Manchester City. It just finished. I watched the broadcast on ESPN. It's the much-anticipated Manchester Derby. United have pretty much sealed the Premier League title, unless they have a major meltdown going forward. But, I mean, I don't foresee anything like that. So this match, it isn't about the title. This match is more about pride. And these derbies have been really entertaining the last few seasons in the Premier League. So this was a pretty safe bet to be a fun game. And ESPN did a really great job with all the hype videos. They were really fantastic before the game. Really got you, like, pumped up for the match. So we get into the match. The first half, you know, it's a scrappy first half. They saw some good opportunities for both sides to score, but a mix of good defending and some bad finishing saw the half end scoreless. City showed really good organization in their attack, while United looked dangerous on the counterattack, making really fast breaking runs when the opportunities arose. United also looked more dangerous on corners than City did in the first half. City had a good attack forming when the halftime whistle blew, which led to City players getting on the ref's case, so that was kind of fun. But it was a fun and, you know, competitive first half. And then you get into the second half, and the game really comes alive in the second half. There's like a good organized attack by City early on, like around, you know, in the, I think it's around the 51st minute, and it pays off with a goal by James Milner, and that really seemed to like kick up the intensity of the match. Things get kind of scrappy from there, and then about 8 minutes later, Robin van Persie takes this really great free kick, and then Alex Jones like heads it, and it like hits Vincent Kompany like on his back, and then goes into the goal, and it's equalizer. Now United's equalized with City, so it's 1-1. And, you know, Vincent Kompany's frustration at conceding like an own goal was, you know, was very palpable. But I don't think there was much he could do to prevent it. Like, you know, it wasn't really his mistake. And then there's a run where both sides, you know, were kind of pumped up after the goals, and then the match kind of slowed down a bit. But then around the 78th minute, there's a nice stretch of City possession, which leads to Aguero. Wow, yowza, holy moly, ravioli. His run in the box, the defender's dogging him, but he doesn't, like, stop, and he takes it to, like, such a difficult angle, and then, boosh, he manages to put it into the top of the net. Oh, man, that was a great goal by Kun Aguero. And United now, they're, like, desperate. Like, in the last 10 minutes, they're looking to equalize or more, you know, and things keep getting scrappier. The yellow cards are just, you know, counting. There's mounting. And then late into the second half, David Silva appears to, like, hurt his hamstring, and he sort of sits on the field, and the play keeps going, and then City finally kicks the ball out off the field, and then this kind of leads to, you know, some sort of temper blow-ups, but it never goes to a scuffle, which, you know, would have been kind of fun. And then we're into stoppage time. You know, Manchester United's, like, desperate at this point, you know, and there's this feeling that anything can happen because Manchester United always scores, you know, really late. So it's like, oh, anything can happen. But City do their best to kill off the game with a lot of stalling. But then, like, late into stoppage time, there's this breakaway counter by United, which leads to a corner kick. But that leads to Hart saving, you know, and then, yeah, he kicks, and it's over. You know, the final whistle blows. Manchester City win the Manchester Derby. Manchester United lose. Yowza! This is a really fun game. It's good drama. You know, fantastic goal by Aguero that won it. And while the outcome doesn't change the title, it doesn't change the season like what the result's going to end up being. This does give City, you know, some bragging rights for a little bit, you know. So, yeah, this was a really fun game. It was a lot of fun. It was a good Manchester Derby. Music. Suit and Tie by Justin Timberlake featuring Jay-Z is a single tearing it up on the charts that I've surprisingly been digging quite a bit. It's got this slow down intro with, you know, kind of slightly creepy vocals to set up the main song, which, you know, gets me up on my feet and making me want to dance. And it's a good dynamic from the slow and weird vocals to the groove and catchiness of the main song. The old school R&B vibe serves this song really well and has great use of horns with the band. Later, things slow down again when Jay-Z comes on, with Timberlake in the background sort of accentuating certain lines. And it ties in nicely to the intro, and the last chorus being in the slow style works really well and helps bring the whole thing together. The song going back to the regular tempo at the very end works good too, and it takes you out with your feet tapping and makes you want to listen to the song all over again to go through like the whole ride. Once more, it's a really catchy song that I didn't love at first, though I could acknowledge some cool hooks in it on the initial listen. But the more I heard it, the more it just like embedded in my head, and then the more I had to hear it, and I've just really grown to enjoy this song quite a bit. I think some of the cursing in the intro was unnecessary, but aside from that, I mean, this is pretty good pop music, I really dig it. It's a pretty cool song. So that's going to do it for this first episode of Markout Mania. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoy, and stay tuned for more. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe and give likes and share your thoughts and opinions. And yeah, thanks for listening, and adios.